You guys, it's finally raining. It's finally raining. Yes, finally. We have needed this so bad, you guys. We have needed this rain so bad. But just so you know, it's not really raining. It's just my sprinkler. I'm just being a little bit of a goofball this morning. So good morning. All right, you guys, today's video, we're gonna be talking about a very popular subject, and that is how to price lawn care. If you're just like me and you scroll through social media pretty often, you'll notice that everybody asks the same question all the time. Brian, how do you price lawn care? And it's quite complicated but simple at the exact same time. Before we get started on that, I want to tell you guys that when you are reading these comments and you're asking these questions, there is no one answer. If there was just one simple answer, then people would not be asking this question all the time. You cannot just ask, well, how much would you charge for this property? And then someone just says, oh, I would charge $80, or I'll charge $75 an hour, or I'll charge $2 a minute, or I'll charge $150 an acre. You can't, that's not how that works. You cannot just say, well, I'll charge $150 an acre. You could have two properties that are both 1 acre, but yet one property might take you an hour and the other one might take you 20 minutes. So how are you going to justify that this one's 150 and this one's 150 when this one's going to take you 40 minutes less to get done? Some properties might require you to do a little bit more edging. They might require you to blow off more pavement. They might require you to do a lot more string trimming. Somebody could have a fence. Somebody might have a trampoline. Somebody might have a lot more trash. It might be a commercial property on a busy road. Like, there's so many different factors that go into how to price lawn care. So you want to figure out what it's going to cost you. The best thing I can tell you is to get yourself down to an hourly rate. Now, it's going to be difficult at first when you first start out because you might not be able to look at a property and say, okay, it's going to take me 3 minutes to do that, 5 minutes to do this, 10 minutes to do that. And when it's all said and done, I'll be out in and out of the property in like 18 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's the travel time? How much gas am I going to use? Like, those are all things that you're going to, in the back of your mind, you might not know. But a lot of you seasoned lawn care people out there, a lot of you that have been doing this for a very long time and also have repeat customers, it's going to be quite simple for you. Okay, so let's take two people. For instance, for those of you guys that watch my channel, we'll take Dakota, my cousin, who works for me, and we'll take me. So let's say Dakota and I both start a lawn care business and we're both going into this first season with one client who's going to pay us $50 to cut their grass. Now in this scenario, Dakota is going to take 20 minutes and I'm also going to take 20 minutes. So without even talking about expenses, without talking about maintenance, insurance, truck payments, anything like that, we're both going to profit $50 on this property. Now you start throwing in variables. The variables can be so many different things. It's based off of what you do as a lawn care business owner. For instance, let's say Dakota, his truck is paid off. He drives his truck there, it's paid off. He doesn't have to make any payments for that truck to get him there. But me, I have to pay $1,000 a month. So that breaks down to, I don't know, like $34 a day or something like that. So I have to pay an extra $34 a day just to get my truck there because I have a truck payment. So, and let's say lawn care, that's my only income. So I have to make at least $34 just to make that payment. So that brings me down to $16 per profit. That's $16 in profit for that property that I just mowed. I know it's only one. We're just using this for like an example. There's plenty of variables, but I just want to get you guys' mind on the right page. I want you guys to start thinking about these things. So Dakota, with all expenses aside, we haven't talked about any of that yet. Dakota's going to make that $50 profit because he doesn't have a truck payment. And I'm only going to make $16 in profit because I do have a truck payment. Now, yes, I know the profit margins can go up based off of, well, maybe you have more clients, you've got neighborly clients, you know, there's so many things that can bring your profit margin up, but there's also so many things that can bring your profit margin down. Like, for instance, Dakota made $50 on that property because he owns his truck, but maybe he doesn't own his trailer. Maybe he doesn't own his lawnmower. Maybe he doesn't own any of his equipment. Maybe he has high insurance. Maybe, you know, there's so many factors that can go into it. Maybe Dakota pays for Google ads. Maybe Dakota pays for new shirts every year. Maybe Dakota's, you know, there's so many things that can drive his profit margin down, 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 down. But
what's nice is you're thinking about these things and you're writing these things down. And at the end of the day, Dakota's like, you know what? I've got $3,000 a month in bills. I've got 10 clients. So I'm making $500 a week. So at the end of the day, what is that, 5 weeks? So he's only making $2,500 a month in cutting grass, and he's got $3,000 a month in bills. Guess what? He ain't going to be in business very long because the math don't math. Now, if Dakota was to double his clientele and now he's making $1,000 a week, then he's going to be doing what, $4,000 a month. So he's going to be, he's going to be profiting. So now he's actually making some profit, but he had to double his clientele, and we haven't even talked about any of the other expenses that could come into play. One of the biggest things that's kind of questionable is gas. And another one is a variable expense, is what I like to call it. It's something that I use as a percentage. So let's say I make $1,000 a week cutting grass. I might put $50 a week away as a variable expense for things like if your motor blows on your mower, if you get a blowout in one of your tires, if somebody steals a piece of your equipment, if you lose like 10 clients in a week. There's a lot of different variables. That's why I like to call them variables. So I always take a chunk, a percentage of my money, and I put that away. And the way I figure out how much I put away is I look at what my expenses are, I look at how much I make, and then how much I can actually take away to cover me just in case something happens. You don't have to keep putting money away every single week, especially if you've been doing this for a long time. If you have like a set amount of money in your bank for emergencies or variables, you're good. Then you don't have to keep adding to that. You can start paying yourself that, or you can start putting that into like an investment. So for instance, let's say you've got, I don't know, like $20,000 worth of equipment, right? And in your savings account or your variable account or your emergency fund or whatever it may be, you've got, $10,000 stacked up. I think you're pretty safe to just, stop putting money into that, unless you're looking at that as like a savings account, or if you're saving up for like a new mower, whatever that may be. But at the end of the day, if you're not putting money away and you don't have money in your account, that's not safe. You're riding on a thin line there, because when you own a business, things happen. Murphy moves in and starts breaking stuff, stealing stuff. Things go wrong, you lose clients, so you have to make sure you got some money put away and saved just in case, because things happen all the time, you guys. Like in my last video, you guys seen that both of my tires on my trailer needed to be replaced, and it was $165 that I didn't even think that I was going to have to spend, but I ended up having to spend it anyway, which sucks. But it came out of, the variable fund, the funds that are set aside for things like that are going to happen. The same thing happened with my weed whacker a few weeks ago. The head broke on it, and I had to go buy a new head, and I think those were like $20 or $30. But that's definitely different than maintenance, you guys. I'm not talking about maintenance, because a lot of the maintenance when it comes to lawn care is those are things that you can pretty much guarantee are going to happen, as far as you needing an oil change, you have to get like string trimmer line, you have to sharpen your blades, you have to get new blades, you got to get new shoes. Like there's always maintenance that needs to be done. Your truck needs, stuff done on it, needs an oil change, need to rotate your tires, like your trailer needs to be looked at, the bearings need to be greased. There's always maintenance, and then you can definitely equate a certain amount of your money towards that maintenance. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at a lawn, all these numbers should have come to like one price. So when you're looking at that lawn, you're like, okay, $50, and then I'm going to pay $5 in expenses. I'm going to pay $1.50 towards my variable fund. So that's the other thing. Like, you have to know what you're trying to profit. Like, are you trying to profit 300%? Are you trying to profit 10%? Are you trying to profit 20%? Like, are you trying to make $5,000 a month? There's so many different people who have different scenarios. So you can't just listen to somebody when they tell you, oh, I charge $150 an acre, because at the end of the day, that's not how that works, and you're going to be out of business real fast and in a hurry. And there are plenty of people on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook that are going to tell you, I've been doing this for 50 years. Who cares, dude? Like, Just because you've been doing something for a long time doesn't mean you've been doing it right, or doesn't mean somebody else that does what you do is going to be successful, because everybody's different. Some people are driving around $100,000 work trucks. Some people are driving around in $3,000 paid off work trucks. So if it costs you $150 just to drive one day, but the person right next to you, it costs them no money to drive, obviously the price, your profit margins on the grass you're about to go mow is going to be different. And then another thing I want you guys to think about is, like, you're going to get more clients. You're going to lose clients. You're going to add new jobs. Like, you're going to start doing maybe irrigation, or you're going to start aerating people's lawns or thatching people's lawns. You're going to start picking up more clients. Maybe you're doing some more advertising. Maybe you're going to hire an employee. You just have to remember, like, those are also things that are going to affect your outcome for payments. Try to be competitive with your payments, and definitely move numbers around. Try different scenarios, do different things. Maybe not buy a brand new mower. Maybe buy a used mower so that you can charge a little bit less for your lawns, because if you're out here every day trying to charge like a very high premium and every single person keeps telling you no, then that's a problem. You're probably going to have to bring your prices down a little bit. And then on the other hand of that, if everybody keeps telling you yes, then you're probably charging not enough. You're not charging enough. You should be getting about 20% of your people that you're giving quotes to telling you no. That's a good number. So out of the 10 people, 2 of them are telling you no, you're probably good. That's probably a good number. And if you've been doing this for a really long time, and maybe you own everything and you've got a lot of money saved up, and your profits are really high, I would highly encourage you to start using that money to make money. Start investing it. There's so many different ways that you can invest your money these days. I would definitely highly encourage you to try to reach out to do something else. Maybe buy a storage unit, maybe buy some rental property. Maybe start another business, a side business, help somebody who, that needs the help. Maybe hire some more employees, or whatever it may be, maybe pay some more employees. But I definitely wouldn't just sit back and just keep sucking up, what's working for you, the profit that's working for you. Because heaven forbid, if something were to happen, all of a sudden now you don't have that cash flow from that business. Like, things happen, you guys. It's the world we live in. So I'd hate to see you having a very profitable business that just keeps bringing in money, and all of a sudden you just got a giant cash flow, and the only thing you're doing with it is saving it. I would highly encourage you to continue that workflow, but at the same time, try to implement something else in there that's going to supplement some income, or use that money to make more money. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I will definitely see you on the next one. Peace.